Oh, now she done lost it now, right? I know you're looking at the calendar and you're like, what is today? I know today is not Tuesday. Not if her video is starting out with a tomato plant. You guys, this is Tea Tuesday. And yes, we are gonna talk eating and drinking tomato leaves. I kid you not, I have not lost my mind. When I read that tomato leaves are edible, it just blew my mind. I never thought about eating tomato leaves because I always thought I was just gonna kill over and die, right? So you guys, we are gonna discuss this carefully and cautiously. For Tea Tuesday, we're talking tomato leaves. So let's go inside and let's dig into what medicinal benefits there are and health perks there are to eating tomato leaves. Let's go. Welcome to Tea Tuesday, you guys. I know, I already know. There's a few of you that as soon as you saw my opening and saw that I was gonna be making tomato leaf tea today, you already clicked off and was like, I'm out because she's crazy and that's ridiculous because they're poisonous and we're not supposed to be able to eat tomato leaves. But you guys, the truth is tomato leaves are edible. And today I am making tomato leaf tea and I'm gonna give you my review on it. Now, if this is your first time watching one of my videos, my name is Keisha and this is my channel, Saving Greens Homestead. And you guys, I have started this series because I was on a quest to find ways that I can use the most of what I grow in my garden. And right now we throw out a huge percentage of what we grow in the garden. We throw it out at the end of the season and it's not really necessary. We waste so much food. And so in my quest to be more efficient in my garden, I set out to discover what things are edible and other ways that I can use the plants that I'm growing besides just harvesting the fruits and veggies off of them. So if you guys haven't watched any of my previous videos, Tea Tuesday videos, I have a playlist for you so that you can go back and look at some of the unconventional things. There's some things in there that you might have already known that, hey, yeah, I drink that tea. But there's some things that are unconventional that you wouldn't imagine is edible and that you could use in a tea. So I invite you to do that. But for today, I'm going to be talking about the benefits of tomato leaves. And first of all, you guys, I am not crazy. I have done a lot of research and I encourage you to do some too. And what I'm going to do is whatever I mention here today, I'm going to list in the description where I found that stuff, the links to everything. So you can go back and it'll make it easy for you to search. I'm going to put in there links to what articles I got the information from, what videos I got the information from, and also the videos for different recipes, because I'm telling you guys, people eat tomato leaves. I found that people use tomato leaves in stir fries, in soups, in stews, in sauces. In fact, there's a number of chefs, gourmet chefs, that use tomato leaves in their marinara sauce to amp the flavor of the tomato and to add another flavor dimension, if you will, to that profile, that flavor profile in the sauce. And so I've seen videos of people using, cooking tomato leaves with fish and eating it. And I'll have that video down there. It looks so good. And this is typically done mostly in Asian cuisines. Indians from India use tomato leaves in their recipes and stuff. So you guys, I've not tried a fresh tomato leaf, and not because I'm scared that it's gonna kill me, but because it's just unusual. Like, I'm one of those people, I've been gardening for 4 years now, and I've heard, oh, these are nightshades. You don't eat the leaves from nightshades because it's poisonous. And I'm going to share with you today some of the things that I found that, yeah, there's chemicals that are produced in the leaves of tomatoes. There's trace amounts of it in the fruit. Tomatoes aren't the only nightshade that we eat. We eat the potatoes, we eat the peppers, we eat the eggplants. Tomatoes is a favorite amongst growers and gardeners and, you know, farmers, and, you know, there's a lot that can be done and has been done with tomatoes. And if you're like me and you like tomatoes, you look forward to the season. Like right now I have over, oh, I don't know, I've got something like 400 tomato plants that I'm starting in these little cups right here for my garden this year. So we eat tomatoes. We eat tomatoes in almost everything. Now, you could be one of those weirdos like my husband that he doesn't eat tomatoes. He will eat ketchup and loves ketchup. He will eat salsa. He will eat pico de gallo. But he will not just sit there and eat a tomato. I finally got him to admit that he likes ground cherries, which are tomatoes as well, or part of the tomato family. So anyways, I got that one on video as proof. But I just want to encourage you guys. I went into this with an open mind, and I know a lot of you are rolling your eyes. You need to stop doing that, okay? Hear me out on this. I will take one for the team. I am going to make this tea and I'm going to drink it, and we'll see if it has any effects. But from what I've read, it would take a pound of these tomato leaves to actually, for the toxins in it, the chemical toxins in it, for it to be so strong to affect us. Not necessarily kill us, but to affect us. Like, do you know how many leaves that would take to make a pound of tomato leaves? I'm guessing because I hadn't tried this, because this is only early spring and this is what my tomato plants look like right now. But I'm guessing it would take about one of those grocery bags that we get from the store stuffed in that bag. So you guys, it would take a lot of us eating these in order for that to happen, for us to have some adverse reactions, or from the toxins, or to suffer any ill effects from the toxins in tomato leaves. So another interesting fact that I discovered when I was looking these up, because let me tell you, I put off doing this video for a while. I put it off and I put it off because I'm like, okay, people are gonna think I'm crazy. People are gonna be like, you know what, I'm not watching any more of her videos. And I put it off and I put it off because it's so controversial. Because for more than just years, for centuries, we've been told that they're toxic. And it's just something that has stuck. And even though we have more technology to really unlock the mysteries of what is found in tomato leaves and what the toxins are capable of doing and how much or whatever. There's no real, like when you start looking for information, you have to really dig, because there's no real information right up front. Like when I do some of my other videos, I find a lot of information on it that I can go back and I can read through and stuff. But with tomatoes, I was hard pressed to find enough information to definitively say, okay, these are the benefits of it. I do have some stuff that I found, some benefits that I found, but in the United States, we're terrified of nightshades. And because of what we're taught and what's been told generations and generations and generations, and you know, just, and a lot of times we accept what is told to us, and this is how it's done, and this is the only way it's done, and we stick to that too much without doing our own research, without questioning, and that's the reason why when I garden and I do stuff, and people say, oh, you can't do that. And I'm like, watch me. I test stuff and I experiment for that reason. Because there's methods and ways that people have come up with to do stuff. And a lot of it is not necessary, or it's harmful the way it's done. And it's because we've always done it that we do it this way. But it's harmful yet. To our environment or to the success of what we do. So you guys, all I'm asking for is an open mind. That's it. You know, and you want to try this, try it. If you say, well, no, you know, I'd rather not take my chances, I'm not going to risk it, then that's fine too. Then don't risk it. There's this article that I found, and the author, her name is Betty, and I guess her blog is called Garden Betty. And anyways, it's a very interesting article, and I will have the information in the description so you can read it. Very, very interesting. And she's Asian, and she talks about how as she was growing up, like they learned not to waste stuff. Not to waste food. Here in the U.S., we waste a lot of food. How she was taught was nothing goes wasted. And so they ate tomato leaves, and she just thought it was a normal thing to do. But here, she read a lot of studies, and she listed them in here so that when you read it, you can see the resources that she used. She has written here that tomato leaves and tomato stems are higher in antioxidant activity and polyphenols than the actual fruits. So when we eat a tomato, you know, we think, okay, it's got some antioxidants in it. Well, actually the leaves and the stems have more antioxidants in it than the fruits, which is interesting. And then also, one of the chemicals that's found in the tomato leaves and stems, and even in the fruit, especially if it's an immature fruit or unripened fruit, when it's still in the green stage, has a high percentage of this. It's called tomatin. They discovered that is actually helpful to use as a cancer inhibitor, and that the glycoalkaloid, people always say, oh, well, that has alkaloids in it, and alkaloids is bad. But according to the studies and stuff that she's found, there's alkaloids in everything that we eat, in all the plants that we eat. But anyways, the glycoalkaloid has been found to be effective to effectively kill or suppress the growth of human breast, colon, liver, and stomach cancer cells. So I found that very interesting. And also in this study, it suggests that we could benefit from eating high tomatin green tomatoes, and that there may be a need to develop high tomatin red tomatoes as well, for that reason, because of the treatment of cancer and how they found how it helps to fight cancer cells. So I thought that was really, really interesting. And she has a list here of all the myths. Like, there's like 5 or 6 different myths that goes along with eating tomato leaves or nightshades in general. What it boils down to is your preference, whether you're gonna, whether you want to be adventurous and try it or not. I'm not here to force you. I'm here to encourage you. I just want to try it myself, just to see what it tastes like. I love the smell of tomato plants. I don't know about you, but every summer or every season, I should say, when I start growing my tomato plants, the smell of them that is left on my fingers from when I'm pruning and handling them and stuff, I just love it. And so my husband loves it too. He doesn't like the tomatoes, but he likes the way the plants smell. So I'm just gonna add this. According to people who have tried the fresh leaves, they've said that, it just tastes like it smells. It has that same taste to it. And so I'm just like, okay. Like I said, I haven't tried it. I might end up doing a Foodie Friday edition and find a recipe, and when I have my plants in full swing, because tomato plants grow huge. They grow 10 feet or better, and so that's a lot of leaves. And so when it's the height of the season and when I have established plants, then I'll probably do something like that for a Foodie Friday. But I also learned some other interesting facts. And in case you're wondering, I have an Insta-Hot spigot that I get my boiling water from. That's what I'm doing now, so I can add that to this kettle. But anyways, another interesting thing that I discovered is in Africa, tomato leaves are commonly used to resuscitate people. And I'll put some of those videos in the description as well so you can see. But like if a person passes out or is unconscious, they take the tomato leaves and then they pulverize them. They mash them up in their fingers to extract the tomato juice from the leaves. And they then take that juice and drop it in the person's nose, in both nostrils, and it revives that person. If they're unconscious, it revives them. And I thought that was interesting, and the way that the lady explained it in the video made sense. Like, they don't have what we have here in the States, where a hospital is just only a matter of a few miles away or anything like that, and so a lot of times it's crucial for them to know how to handle certain emergency situations and what to use until they're able to get that person to a hospital. So, and they use that. And then also, I found it interesting that the juice of the tomato leaf is used as a way to instantly bring down a high fever. And using it the same way, dropping it in the person's nose that has a high fever, it instantly takes away the high fever. Now, I have not tried that, but I'm just letting you know some of the interesting things that I found about it. And I thought that was really cool. Will I ever try that? I don't know. I don't know, but it's just interesting. It's an interesting thing to discover. And then also on yet another video that I watched, and I'll put that one down too, a lady used tomato leaves in a pesto that she made, along with parsley and garlic and some other stuff, and she used it in a pesto. So, I mean, people are using these and are consuming them. But, you know, sometimes it's hard to get away from what you've been programmed through generations and stuff, what you've been programmed to believe. So I'm going to let this brew for about an hour. And when it's done, I will be back to taste it and give you my review on tomato leaf tea. Okay, you guys, it's been a little over an hour. I was outside messing around doing some stuff and wasn't watching the time. And I realized I forgot to mention another way that tomato leaves are used. Like how I like to do my teas, I use dried leaves to make these teas. And I know there's a lot of leaves that you can use fresh to make tea. But I just prefer the dry ones, and I might do a series using fresh leaves to brew, to boil, and make a tea with. But right now I'm just doing this strictly on dried leaves. But speaking about dried leaves, with the tomato leaf, you can dry these like how I did, and instead of using it for tea, you can sprinkle it on your food and use it as an herb. One of the suggestions was, like, if you're making pizza or if you're making some kind of pasta with butter, you can sprinkle the dried tomato leaves on top of it and use it like you would dried parsley and stuff. And so I forgot to mention that. I thought that was interesting as well. So I'm going to try this. Now, I told my husband before he left, I was like, I'm going to taste it and then I'm going to act like I'm dying. He said, don't do that, Keisha. This topic is already controversial enough without your crazy humor added to it. So I'm not going to do that to you guys. But I am going to try this for you and tell you what I think. So let me give you an up-close look at it. It smells like regular green tea. It has olivey green color to it. It just smells like green tea. So I'm gonna try it now and tell you what I think. Okay, so I thought I was kind of bracing myself for it to be unpleasant, like bitter or something, because, you know, the smell of tomato plants is really pungent. So I figured the flavor would be pungent as well, like how the smell is. But it doesn't even taste like the plant to me. It just tastes green, like any other green, leafy green that I've dried and made tea out of. Not bitter, not tart, no aftertaste. It's just pleasant. Tastes good. Tastes, slightly as I'm talking, slightly at the end of it, I get kind of a aroma of that plant. Kind of, like just a slight hint of it. Now I know what you're thinking. I know a lot of you probably did one of these numbers when I went to go and drink it and taste it. Leaned in to the screen to see, okay, is something gonna happen to her? I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I don't think I'm gonna die from this. If you were one of the ones leaning in when I went to take that sip, leave it in the comments and let me know. I know there are people out there who eat tomato leaves. If this is you and you're watching, then let me know in the comment section how you use them in your recipe and in your daily cooking. Let me know. And I might actually feature that recipe on my Foodie Friday with using tomato leaves. So let me know what your experience has been with it. Anyways, you guys, I know that, you know, I'm joking and I'm laughing, but you know, I'm serious. Like, we need to be open-minded about certain things, and we need to do our research to make sure of things, you know, and not be scared to try something like tomato leaves. Just because we've been told something and programmed to think a certain way doesn't make it the truth or make it reality. So thank you guys for watching this episode. And if you made it this far, then you were really interested to see if it was gonna do something to me, right? Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for joining me. Next Tuesday, I'm gonna bring you another interesting tea item that we grow in our garden that maybe you didn't know you could use this tea. So until then, and as always, you guys, God bless.